Hello there, and welcome back to the fourth episode of my Exotic Industries gameplay for Factorio. And, well, wonderful day, isn't it, in my little steam factory? So, I have come to the conclusion that this will be pretty much the final version of the steam factory. I amped up the amount of labs by a bit. You might have noticed that our little meditation spot got encroached by numerous laboratories by now. But beyond that, well, I also increased the production of green science packs because heck, why not? And well, by now I'm really just waiting for the next tech age to be upon us, and that's going to be the big thing for today. So, for this episode, I want to breach through into the electricity age. And when we check it out here, we're really not that far away anymore. I have researched in between this and the last episode. I did a little bit this and that. I went through the train technology because we're going to require that in the future quite soon. And well, beyond that, not too much because the tech packs by now they are costly. The technologies went really super costly at this point. So I'm really just progressing ever so slowly. I just meant to get the episode started at this point so you know what my life's looking like as we're speaking, you know. There's labs everywhere. They're getting closer to me. And, well, with that in mind, we are going to expand the base. The thing is, we don't have much to change about these designs. We have access to electricity quite soon. There's only a few more technologies blocking the way, and I'm really shying away from building anything fundamentally new here. I started handcrafting some electronic circuits and the like in the background because I felt like, yeah, it would be a pretty cool thing to have these when we actually get started with these things. But beyond that, really, I don't really know where and why I should expand my base here because, you know, you see, we still have to hand fill some things. The fuel production here is still a little bit weird. And, well, I mean, it's a pretty cool factory nevertheless, but I think it came to its end. I really love to see the ending point of every starter factory, starter base. I think that's what we're looking at right now. So, I'm going to zoom ahead at this with this video when up until the point when we have the technological breakthroughs that we're waiting for right now. We do have to wait until the 70% mark. You know, that's probably only this technology and the next, probably only that technology. And then we get to research the electricity age, which will unlock the new tech packs consisting out of these wonderful things. But most importantly, we get access to the technology of electricity power. Well, ish. We first have to research the electric engine, and you see, I'm going to fast forward for you folks until we have hit that point. And with that being said, see you there. The time has finally come. We are officially electrified, my friends. So we can now finally build electric mining and electric steam engines and all the like. So my wait has come to an end. Did it? So I was looking this up and I was instantly horrified when I realized that we have now access to mining, electrified mining, but pretty much that's it. We need to unlock all the other goodies that are related to electricity with tech packs of the new kind. So if I want to have electrified assembling machines, I'll have to invest a handful of electricity age technology packs. So it might be painstaking, but I'm going to take the challenge because we luckily can produce five at a time. So it's going to be, in that regard at least, somewhat sustainable. But now comes the next challenge. we're going to rebuild our entire mining area. You know, the electricity that I'm generating, that I will be generating, will be not really used for that factory. I also took the liberty in the meantime to soup up the green science a little bit more. That was the only thing I did. I love the comparison between these ratios. Whatever. So what I'm going to do now next is I'm going to handcraft as many of these little guys here as possible, and that's going to be quite a lengthy progress. Steam engines, hooray! And at the same time, we're going to set up some power production. Of course, of course. It's a pretty basic thing, and you know, in pretty much every other factory, you would have been there already. I don't know, since probably a while, but here we don't have that kind of luxury. Anywho, so since there's currently just a lot of handcrafting involved until we get that rebuilt, I'm going to go again on my laboratory spot. We have to rebrand it, and I'm going to reintroduce the situation when we have the new mining. I just wanted to have a little bit of a happy moment with my electricity age. Yay, electricity. Let's get to work. Not only do we have now our first electricity, also you might have noticed that the environment has changed a little bit. So well, when I was trying around with how the things are now, I realized that those wonderful new tech packages, well, they don't fit into the old design. So, as a matter of fact, the very first thing that we're going to do with our electricity is going to electrify our first lab. So I wanted to introduce that. So, well, it's going to be a quite long process, but I figured that in my opinion, it will be the next best thing to do, that we're going to try our best to get through the automation technology. Yes, this does mean that I have to handcraft 370 of these blue packs. Be that as it may, it unlocks the usage of electricity for producing things, and that does give me a lot of advantages that I'm not able to think of right now. So the current order of things that I have in mind, 1.8 megawatt, is that I'm going to craft myself those miners. We're going to set up the mining machines, and during the time that I set up the mining machines, I'm going to keep crafting those tech packs in the background, and hopefully I'll be able to get the tech done in between. I mean, it'll take a while, but I think this will still pay off hugely, because the moment we have set up the electric mining and the electric assembly, the entirety of this mod pack is open for me, because I can then produce everything with somewhat tolerable producing times. I mean, this is the same zero point 0.5 as the steam machines might provide, but you know, it comes without all the pipe work. And the problem with all the pipe work is it does create so much drain on the logistics side, and yeah, so many things. Be that as it may, I'm busy handcrafting, as you might see, and probably deriving some way to get those byproducts automated, you know? There's electric engines and engine units that do take quite some time, and I felt like I want to tinker around. Maybe I can find a way to make that stuff go happen a little bit faster, because I realized that the engines and the electric engines seem to be the bottleneck of this method here, you know? Look at this. It's extremely slow producing, isn't it? So probably I will be setting up some semi-automatic or full automatic assembly for these little suckers, because I can already foresee that they will become quite the issue. But let's build the mining brigade, and then we're going to say hi again to the new problems. And I'm back. Here's what we got so far. The first field of miners has opened. Look at them. The interesting part about these guys is they have a larger field of operation than your regular electric mining drill. They come with a zero point 0.5 units per second, so they're not really more effective than the old version. Their their primary thing is that they have a wider reach. So for now, I leave it like that. We can, of course, will of course increase the frequency there. But for starters now, I built up a little bit of a smelter stack here. I decided to use the coke pellets that we were producing now and for the future for the smelting purposes, because I feel like this is going to be quite a good thing. And for now, we're going to go with this. Oh Christ, I still have wood in my... So here we go. Now I should have nothing burnable in my inventory. Yeah, okay. So let's see. Can you feed yourself out of the furnace? Hell yeah. So here we're still going to use the burner inserters. Simple reasoning behind that is, for me, electric inserters are currently a very, very costly currency. You know, I'm going to show it to you in a second. I wanted to set up this little thing, and a electric inserter, I realized, you know, that's so much product that we have to invest in there that I was like, nope, we're not going to. So we're going to instead we're going to work with the system like that. Isn't it beautiful? So it's basically the same that we had before, just more effective. It's expandable in both venues, and it even comes with a automated fuel supply for the smelters. Isn't that great? I'm really, really happy about this, because that means we're currently really, really we are now a step forward compared to before. So I also have crafted myself a handful of electricity packs in the background. You know, you got to do what you got to do. And yeah, now it's time to repeat that for the other areas, namely the copper first. And I did decide to something quite wacky here, and that's this here. So check out the burner mining drill. It comes with a mining speed of 0.25 per sec, whereas the electric mining drill has double the amount. So I'm going to stay with the burner mining drills for now, the coal field, because it is the same logic. It is such a costly investment for me to make these electric miners that I really feel like, well, let's use them where it's really important, like, for example, with these copper fields and the iron fields, because that's really where my biggest problems were coming from. And oh boy, my entire factory is not working anymore. So sound the alerts, and oh god. So I need to resort things. That's what happens when you are relying on your base sorting by not sorting. Anywho, my good friends, we're going to sort that out behind the scenes. There's still a lot of handcrafting to get done. I just wanted to give you a heads up. I mean, so far this is like vanilla Factorio, only with extremely complicated and convoluted building recipes. But you know, I'm getting there. The next step after this will be upgrading to steel furnaces. I actually wanted to use steel furnaces right from the get-go, but then I opted out on that because I realized that, you see, it's not that terribly necessary, fuel efficiency, I mean, and it's, again, the same thing, you know? These are so much more costly compared to this little cheap friend that's been made in a few seconds, so you get the idea. Anywho, there's more handcrafting and all these things to get done, and let's see how far we can get during this episode. Now then, a little bit later, I came up with this. First off, I compactified the smelter stack, because there was no real reason to leave room between those. I just had that because with the small electric poles, it's pretty cool early on, but we don't need them, you know? And also, I have spent some time with this little thingamajig that basically just does this, making some engines for me, And here we have some pipe making for all those pipes, all that steam. And here I made a little bit of a street works department again, because, you know, I started to run out of belt, and that was really, really frightening me. Okay, but beyond that, well, you might notice it. It's the same old belt, mining belt thing here, and well, we're going to do this as I always do these things. You know, with this mod, I gotta say, it's quite a painful experience with all those crafting processes, you know? Check this out how long this takes. I mean, that's 6 seconds per engine. That means every one of these electric mining machines is a real long-lasting pain to get through. So, well, it's quite something, but we're getting through this bit by bit. So I'm setting up the next smelter stack for the copper, and then we're actually able to expand on that mall for real. The thing though is, well, we're still far away from real automation or anything, but I do want to say it feels good to automate processes in the background, like that engine factory. Yes, it runs on steam assemblers currently, but since I now have discovered that steam assemblers and electric assemblers have the same speed, or at least the tier 1 electric assemblers, I am less reluctant to build entire steam dedicated parts of my mall, because, you know, either I'll just replace them with electric stuff at some point, and then I'll just rip out the pipework, or I'll just keep them as they are, as a bit of a derelict remembrance of times past. So, be that as it may, we got to grab ourselves some fuel for this thing and get this party started. So, once all these things are set up, the last thing that I really want to get myself towards to is are these electricity tech packs. I mean, there's so much to get done with. We do have so many parts where I need to expand on. It's really painful here. I feel like I need to get done. I need to get everything done at once while my hands are tied to my back, because, you know, we're so slow with everything. And, well, I think the next best thing to do will be to work on these tech packs here and just keep expanding. I mean, basically, I'd ideally want to create those electricity tech packs fully automated next, because, you know, the more automation, the better. So probably I'm going to set up something that works a little bit better than this, but at the same time, you know, electric stone quarries. They have the same problem like these. Well, I'm working myself slowly towards the production of my own electric engine units. Probably that's going to be the next thing that I do here. But I mean, yeah. Let's quickly set up that smelter stack there, then ponder a little bit about the next phase of steel. And then I'd say we're already good to go for the next snippet there. But I really need more automation. That's the one key thing that I do notice. But, well, let's get through with this. So I'm going to get back to you, friends, once I have cooked up some new spaghetti and have found my way around the smelting, and have found my way around all the other things that are there in between. This is surely a lot harder than I thought. Transition from steam to electric age is a pretty big thing, and I'm enjoying myself a lot here. So let's craft some more, and I'll get back once a bit more of that mall background and the smelter stacks are done. I'm so confused about this run. Alright, it took me a while to get myself a plan together. So here's where we are right now. So first off, the mining patch here, well, as you see, didn't change much. I have set up a smelter stack over here, classic design, and I went for a distribution like this. I'm producing 7 units of raw copper here, and I'm smelting roughly around 7 ingots too. So that's because I went for a base design like that, where we went with a split belt here between these two. So more than any production more than 7.5 would not get transported properly because belt can't carry that much. So I felt like for a starter base, that's totally convenient. So the next thing where I'm going to get started with is electric stone quarries. That's, by the way, where I have used my very, very valuable electric inserters for the first time. So the next job is a quite simple one. I want to automate the production of those electronic circuits because I'm really, really tired of these guys being a problem in my plans. So, in short, we're going to create ourselves some glass and some ceramics, and then we're going to craft ourselves some green circuits up here, because I figured the earlier I'm automating these green circuits, the better. It's basically no good to delay that any further, and since steam is not really any rare commodity at this point anymore, and by the way, say hi to my new street building department. Steam is no longer a rare commodity in this factory, you know. We can get that basically everywhere we want to. So I'm going to get myself a bit of an automation thing here going. And once the green circuits are automated, it's going to be really not that much of a big deal anymore to automate those tech packs next, because that's basically really, really where I want to get myself towards to. Because, you know, we need those tech packs quite badly, don't we? And without them, well, what can we do? I'm not going to see any bigger progression without those bigger tech packs. I mean, I did start out with a lot more automation in between the recording sessions here, because, you know, it took quite long to handcraft all those miners. You see that I have still a few left, you know, I have way more miners than I actually need, but that was an intentional decision of mine, because I figured that, you know, the moment I'm going to set up more of that stuff, I'm going to be so happy that I had that kind of preparation, you know. So it's now time to crush us some stone into sand, and yeah, well, it's going to be from that point on quite easy, because we're going to transform the sand into industrial glass. That's a very, very direct recipe. And the ceramics, well, it's pretty similar. It's a sand and steam, so we won't have that much of a problem. That's a steam assembler recipe, and that's a furnace recipe. But whatever might be the case, we can easily just export those products like that. And then, well, I gotta say, I started to embrace the steam economy. Okay, it's at first I was a little bit you know, doubtful, to put into friendly words, but by now, well, give me the steam, man. Steam is fun, especially since you know, it's just a alternative to power, basically. It's an alternative to electricity, and it's pretty fun to utilize it like that, especially when you're finally no longer bound to handcrafting everything. Anywho, I have a little bit of a facility to build, and as soon as I have the first few steps in that direction together, I'm going to be back with you, friends, because my big goal is to automate the production of these tech packs as the next thing, because I feel like that's really, really, you know, where we want to be, no? Okay, it took me a while. It really, really took me a while to get these things together, but here we are. So I I'm producing green circuits now, just like I have promised. So the story went on like this. We went on and produced the sand here. The sand gets produced into glass. That glass produces slag, so we need to sift this out from time to time. I don't like that part. I really need to work on that. And over here, the sand gets transformed into ceramics. We're also sitting on an iron patch here. It's all just intermediaries. And then that stuff wanders all the way down here, where we're finally making electron tubes out of that. The electron tubes, they require cable, and the real sadistic part here is that every cable machine requires 2 machines for copper plates, and oh, it's really it's really something. The the fact that every copper plate needs to be crafted out of an ingot really does weigh you down over the course of the time. So here, for example, for the iron plates that are necessary for those green circuits, I had to set up 2 extra assemblers. It is just everywhere. So the thing that I have in mind is a quite simple one. I want to go and do a little bit of a semi-automatic production line again, because I figured it would be way too hard for me now to go and automate the science packs now for real. You see, we got those engine units automated, I got those electronic circuits automated. What I don't have automated yet are steel parts, so we do require steel mechanical parts for that purpose here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up a few steam assemblers. Let's make that 2. And we're going to hand feed those guys with all the stuff that the science requires. Because, you know, it might be not the ideal way to approach this at this point, because we will still hand feed that thing at the end of the day. But I still feel like sometimes, you know, sometimes that's absolutely valid to do, especially since we got all the necessary ingredients already on automation. We just don't have the logistics behind it. And most importantly, I don't have the steel production yet. But beyond that, I mean, everything's working a-okay already, so I don't see any reason why we're not supposed to work with that like this. And, well, I think, yeah, we still need to craft some more labs, and, oh man, there are so many things that we need to get done here at the end of the day. But still, I feel like I'm making progress here. Every one of these machines here has a laughably low input of material that it requires. So we will be capable of expanding our business quite substantially like that. But, well, still feel like we got a long way to go still. But at the same time, it's quite some progress. We got some serious smelt stacks. I got a, well, not too efficient green circuit production. I mean, why are you not working anymore? Oh, we ran out of copper. Because of that splitter. Okay, I need to do that a little bit different, as it seems. Let's do that for now with a regular old splitter. So there's a lot of things where we need to refine the build, but I'm very happy that it looks as it does right now. It's like we're on the right in the right direction. The steel production will be the next big thing, but I won't be able to get that down into this episode. I mean, I am currently very happy to see that I have at least succeeded in getting the basics down, you know. I am producing the next tech pack for real. And I'd say that's a really good point to drop the ball for today. I mean, still a lot of room for improvement, but at least I can now come by from time to time and grab me some progress here, and I think that's a pretty good place to be at. Okay, my friends, thanks so much for watching this series. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I do. It's going to be next time a little bit more about diving deeper into the electric age. Don't know, I really want to make these things little bit less haphazard, but you know, at the same time, I don't want to be unnecessarily mean to what I built up here. It's quite something. It works out, and it was quite a lot of work, wasn't it? Anywho, thanks for watching. Drop me your comments down below. I really am looking forward to hear from you. As usual, I hope you have a great time in between. And yeah, let me know what you're thinking and come by next time again. See ya.